I love Rock Band a lot. Like, too much. The money I spent on it is... I mean, why did I get this? And when am I ever going to play this song? Let's not get into that. While the basic rhythm gameplay always gave me something to do, I've recently been interested in the lore of Rock Band. Not like the history of harmonics or the story of Moose Jaw Boudreaux, but I'm talking like setlist lore. I'm crazy about Rock Band songs the same way people are crazy with Smash characters.
Oh my god!
Neutral Milk Hotel.
Oh my god!
I love seeing what new bands make it into the series with every installment and which songs slowly appear through DLC. There's a lot of funny occurrences in Rock Band's history, like how the Rolling Stones only showed up once in all of Rock Band, or how Metallica used to have tracks, but they were all removed for some reason. Anyways, if you've ever wanted to understand why people hold up the first Rock Band as a holy grail of rhythm game set lists, well, it's because of the influx of master recordings and songs extracted from highly rated albums, which allowed for a smattering of easily recognizable and enjoyable songs. Now that that's out of the way, let's go through the meat of the setlist, CGP Grey style, and kind of understand its history since it's been exported around like crazy. Now, the actual size of the setlist differs on which version you purchase. The original North American release for the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and PlayStation 2 shipped with 58 songs on the disc back in 2007. However, if you bought the Wii version about 6 to 7 months later, you got 5 extra songs. On top of that, if you bought the European version that was shipped out in 2008, you would receive an additional 9 songs. All exclusive songs would later be available to purchase as DLC, with a few stragglers that I'll get into later. Alright, so 58 plus 5 plus 9, with the power of my high school diploma, that tells me we have 72 songs in total. Let's just focus on the main setlist for now. That's 58 songs. 45 of those are considered to be on the main setlist. That is, you play them in career mode and unlock them through progression. There are also 13 bonus songs which you obtain through completing a bonus career mode as well. The bonus songs feature bands formed by Harmonix employees and other local acts centered around Harmonix's headquarters in Massachusetts. All of these 58 songs are as follows, and I'll post a time skip if you already know the setlist. Are You Gonna Be My Girl by Jet, Ballroom Blitz by Sweet, Black Hole Sun by Soundgarden, Blitzkrieg Bop by Ramones, Celebrity Skin by Hole, Cherub Rock by Smashing Pumpkins, Creep by Radiohead, Danny California by Red Hot Chili Peppers, Dead on Arrival by Fall Out Boy, Detroit Rock City by Kiss, Don't Fear the Reaper by Blue Oyster Cult, Electric Version by The New Pornographers, Enter Sandman by Metallica, Epic by Faith No More, Flirting with Disaster by Molly Hatchet, Foreplay Long Time by Boston, Gimme Shelter by the Rolling Stones, Go With the Flow by Queens of the Stone Age, Green Grass and High Tides by The Outlaws, Here It Goes Again by OK Go, Highway Star by Deep Purple, I Think I'm Paranoid by Garbage, In Bloom by Nirvana, Learn to Fly by Foo Fighters, Made Offender by The Hives, Maps by Yeah Yeah Yeahs, Mississippi Queen by Mountain, Next to You by The Police, Orange Crush by R.E.M., Paranoid by Black Sabbath, Reptilia by The Strokes, Run to the Hills by Iron Maiden, Sabotage by Beastie Boys, Say It Ain't So by Weezer, Should I Stay or Should I Go by The Clash, Suffragette City by David Bowie, The Hand That Feeds by Nine Inch Nails, Tom Sawyer by Rush, Train Kept It Rollin' by Aerosmith, Vaseline by Stone Temple Pilots, Wanted Dead or Alive by Bon Jovi, Wave of Mutilation by Pixies, Welcome Home by Coheed and Cambria, When You Were Young by The Killers, and Won't Get Fooled Again by The Who. Those 45 are the main setlist songs. There are also 13 bonus songs, which are 29 Fingers by The Conks, Blood Doll by Anarchy Club, Brain Power by Freeze Pop, Can't Let Go by Death of the Cool, Day Late Dollar Short by the Acro Brats, I Get By by Honest Bob and the Factory to Dealer Incentives, I'm So Sick by Flyleaf, Nightmare by Crooked X, Outside by Tribe, Pleasure Pleasure by Bang Camaro, 7 by Vagiant, Time We Had by the Mother Hips, and of course, Timmy and the Lords of the Underworld by who else but Timmy and the Lords and the Underworld. So, most of the songs in the setlist utilize master recordings, aka the first recordings of a song from which all the later copies are made. Thanks, Wikipedia. However, due to licensing issues, some songs had to be covered. These were all done by the music production studio Wave Group Sound. You can find a lot of their covers on some of the earlier Guitar Hero games and early DLC tracks of Rock Band. The songs covered by Wave Group in Rock Band 1 are Ballroom Blitz, Green Grass and High Tides, Mississippi Queen, Paranoid, Run to the Hills, Tom Sawyer, and Train Kept It Rollin'. Rock Band 1 is the only time Wave Group covers are found in the entire series. The rest on-disc songs are all either master or live recordings. If you're actually curious as to how these covers sounded, Skylab has uploaded them all, and I made a playlist. Here you go. Link below. Strangely enough, there was originally going to be a cover of The Who's Behind Blue Eyes in the original setlist, but the Won't Get Fooled Again master was added instead. The song, including stems and an incomplete chart, were found on the Rock Band 1 disc, according to Skylab. The song was found in a folder titled Worst Case, so I assume if the Won't Get Fooled Again master didn't fall through, you would have seen Behind Blue Eyes instead. Funny, because the master of Behind Blue Eyes was later added as DLC. An interesting tidbit, to me, of every Rock Band on this setlist is seeing what new bands they bring in. I'm not talking about like indie hits, I'm talking about bands that have never been featured on the Rock Band soundtrack before. We see this with people like Bob Dylan showing up in Rock Band 2 and Elvis in Rock Band 4. A lot of the bands on Rock Band 1 setlist showed up in other games or as DLC, but some only appeared here once. The bands that never showed up again in a Rock Band game were Hole, Molly Hatchet, the Rolling Stones, the Outlaws, Mountain, and sort of Metallica. I say sort of because of Rock Band 2's battery and a DLC track pack, but these were later delisted from the store along with every other Metallica song ever. I wonder why. The bands of the bonus songs that only show up in Rock Band 1 and never again are the Conks, Death of the Cool, the Acrobrats, Tribe, the Giant? I don't know. I'm stealing the pronunciation from this video.
A vagina that is legendary in both
Timmy and the Lords of the Underworld, and sort of Crooked X. Again, DLC went in, DLC went out. But Nightmare's still there. Also, funny fact, this isn't technically Vagiant's only appearance in Rock Band. They soon renamed their band to Tijuana Sweetheart and showed up in Rock Band 4 with Pistol Whipped. Are you laughing? Pretty funny. I do want to briefly mention that there was an export feature for every subsequent Rock Band game where you could bring over the songs from the previous games. Most worked. Most. The 4 that never came over were the covers of both Paranoid and Run to the Hills, Vagiant 7, and, you guessed it, Metallica's Enter Sandman. As it stands, the only way to play these songs is with the original Rock Band disc and nowhere else. Except for Run to the Hills, whose original master was later released as DLC. Same thing with Tom Sawyer. A nice option if you can't handle wave group singing.
I know I can't!
Harmonix really knew how to pick them with this set list. One thing you can't deny is that Harmonix selected songs from some great albums. But just to be all logical and avoid personal favorites, let's see who holds up with some good old-fashioned journalistic critiques. The ratings I'll be going by will be if Rolling Stones gave it a 4 stars or higher, if Entertainment Weekly gave it a B+ or higher, if Pitchfork gave it an 8 or higher, or if NME gave it an 8 or higher. I know some of you probably hate these magazines or journalistic hubs, but bear with me here. Bam! Statistically, pretty good. If someone told me it's good, then who am I to argue? Oh yeah, and then all the other versions. So the Wii version had 5 additional songs. Dirty Little Secret by the All-American Rejects, Don't Look Back in Anger by Oasis, Rome by the B-52s, Rockaway Beach by Ramones, and Roxanne by the Police. The European version had 9 additional songs. And forgive me if I mispronounce these because I'm like barely European. Beetlebum by Blur, Countdown to Insanity by H Block X, Here Kommt Alex by Die Totenhausen, Hysteria by Muse, Manu Chao by Les Wampas, Monsoon by Tokyo Hotel, New Wave by Playmo, Perfect Well by Yili, and Rock and Roll Star by Oasis. All are master recordings and most were available as DLC. Here Kommt Alex was only exportable to Rock Band 2, Manu Chao was exportable to future games but was later delisted from the store, and Monsoon is not exportable at all, meaning if you want to play these songs you have to purchase the EU version. So all in all, we got 72 songs here. Originally 58, but if you buy the European Wii version, you get 14 extra songs. Not bad. With those album rankings, it's clear Rock Band had a great start in terms of set lists. I think it might be the best set list of the bunch, although I do have a soft spot for Rock Band 2, as it was my first set list. If I were to pick some song favorites, they'd probably be Cherub Rock, Danny California, Gimme Shelter, and the cover of Train Kept a Rollin'. Although I am kind of biased to guitar, because that's all I play. But, all good songs nonetheless. I know I'm probably missing some, so if you have a favorite, let me know. I think back to the times when people were awaiting the Rock Band exports with bated breath after every installment. It's because the setlist is great. So many classics. And even though they might not be specific groups' best songs, they are songs that a lot of people can recognize at a party. That's something I always commend Rock Band for. They're filled with recognizable songs. Songs with a chorus or riff kicks in and you're like, oh yeah, that one. And after doing some research, Harmonix really picked some tracks off of some great albums as well. I've recently been listening to a lot of these albums, and I'm constantly surprised by how many songs I remember from Rock Band. Good job, Harmonix! Now why can't you have the countdowns follow real-life seconds? Hey, thanks for watching my video. If you like this kind of setlist statistics video, let me know, and I can do some on some other games. And hey, if you think other Rock Band setlists beat the original, speak up in the comments, and let's hash this out. Just kidding, don't yell at me.